Alright, it is rough drafts time. This week we have the second format of Kamigawa block. So last week we played triple champions of Kamigawa. This week we have an additional pack thrown in. Instead of the third champions pack, we have a pack of betrayers of Kamigawa, which mostly means in the last pack we want to open a Goryo's Vengeance. That's the money card. Also, for common, Ninja the Deep Hours, but let's see what we get. Kusarigama. Equipped creature has 2. This creature gets +1/+0. Whenever a equipped creature deals damage to a blocking creature, the equipment deals that much damage to each other creature defending player controls. That might be good. Blind with Anger is pretty solid. Big Spirit Spider, Callous Deceiver, Kami of Ancient Law, Floating Dream Subira. A huge menace thing. Pull Under. I think Blind with Anger, maybe this equipment, and Pull Under are probably the best cards. I think I'm just going to take that equipment, and apparently I did without realizing it. This card I believe is good. I mean, it's a 2/2 for 2. If a permanent would be put into the graveyard, exile it instead, and it has Bushido, so if it gets blocked, if it blocks or becomes blocked, it gets +1/+1. Blade Master is also pretty good because of the first strike. Destroy a spirit. Oni Possession, we're not taking here. Villainous Ogre. I think we're taking one of the white cards. I guess this green thing is probably fine too, just because it ramps. What's better? This is more aggressive, but it costs more white mana. This has first strike, which is sweet. I'm almost tempted to take this. The Blade Master. I'm going to take Blade Master. I do not know if it's right or not. Oh, man. And then we get past a Dampen Thought? Ugh. Does that mean we just have to take Dampen Thought? We might. Oh, man. The Dampen Thought deck is pretty sweet when it works. What would we be passing? This Healer. This Protection from Spirits and Arcane. Alright, we're taking Dampen Thought. Whether or not we play it or not, I'm not 100% sure. We got to decide. So, Dampen Thought, target player puts the top 4 cards of his or her library into his or her graveyard. 2 mana, instant. It's Arcane, and you can splice it onto an Arcane. So, for example, with this Reach Through Miss, you play Reach Through Miss for 1 mana, splice this on for 2 more mana, mill some cards, etc. Oh, what do we have in white? When a creature dealt damage by this dies, flip it, and then it has Double Strike and Bushido 2 and an unknown amount of power and toughness, thanks to Moto. Houndmaster is probably fine if we just go for like a red-white aggro deck. Man, this is the deciding choice here. We either take Reach Through Miss and try to be the Arcane deck, or take... Well, I think we take Reach Through Miss. We're not passing any good white cards, or... see, now we have a good white card. This is the choice. We have a Peer Through Depths, which is sweet if we are the Arcane deck. Then there's a Mothrider Samurai, which is just a fine creature. 2/2 flying for 4 has Bushido. The only thing is, I don't know how good I am at building the Arcane deck. I know it's sweet, and it seems sort of open. Alright, let's do it. We're going to try it. We are going to try to build the Arcane deck. Oh, another Mothrider Samurai! We could have such a sweet white aggro deck. Well, we've made our bed. White cards to the sideboard. Someone else can be that deck. This Eerie Procession is a way we can get our Dampen Thought. And we do want the Dampen Thought in our hand. Yeah, let's take it. Eye of Nowhere is an Arcane spell. So we can splice onto it. Returns a permanent to its owner's hand for 2 blue. So I guess we're just going to take that. Here we get... We probably want this Defensive Body. A 1/4 actually blocks quite a bit. At least white has dried up, so I feel a little less bad about where we're at. Hanakami is interesting. 1/1 for 1, you pay 1 in green, sacrifice it, return an Arcane spell from your graveyard to your hand, so we can get back our Reach Through the Miss, Eerie Procession, actually any card in our deck. But I think we'd rather have this defensive blue creature. I think you usually want to be blue-red for the Arcane deck, but I am not 100% sure. I know that's how it was in Modern Masters, which is what I'm basing most of this on. 2/2 for 3, sacrifice to return a creature you control to your hand. I don't think we want that Arcane spell. I guess we can take Waking Nightmare. It is an Arcane spell. I don't know if we'll play it. There's another Peer Through Depths, that's good. We will play many of those. So what do we have here? Change the targets on target Arcane spell. 2/2 for 1 that adds 1 red when it enters the battlefield. Aki Rock Speaker. And Yamabushi's Storm. I think we take that. Actually, maybe we take Ethereal Haze. Maybe we end up white-blue? Desperate Ritual is an Arcane spell. Well, we'll see. I don't know if I'm doing this right or not. I know this deck is sweet, and I know how to draft it in Modern Masters 2015. I don't know exactly how to draft it in Kamigawa and Champions Betrayers. So that's the adventure that we're on. I know when you build the deck, it is awesome. When you get the right build of it. Just not sure that I will be able to do that, but we will see. Funny story. Guess we'll take this thing. I tried to build this deck in one of my own drafts, just for fun. And in Modern Masters, Dampened Thought is a common, so there's like a million of them. So I was like, hey, I'm going to be the Arcane deck. So I just started drafting all these Arcane spells. Yeah, I mean, it's a common. I got to get the Dampened Thought eventually. Nope. Went through the entire draft, did not see a Dampened Thought, so that was fun. Here we have a pretty good Spirit Legendary Rare. Flying, whenever you cast a Spirit Arcane spell, you can exile it and return it to the battlefield. If we, so far we don't have red. It seems like we probably will want to end up in red. Petals is good. It's an Arcane spell. It draws us cards. Frost Wielder is good. It's a pinger. Honden is actually pretty good. Deals a damage to a creature or player at the beginning of our upkeep for each Honden we control, or shrine we control. So if we get more, it's even better. We might just have to take Petals, though. Yeah, let's take Petals. Now we get no Arcane stuff. Marrow Gnar. Rats have Fear. 5 mana, 2/3. Sack a rat, put X rats into the battlefield, where X is the number of rats you control. Maybe good in the rat deck, I guess. That seems like a decent pump spell. Graceful Adept, you have no maximum hand size. That could be good. Mystic Restraints is a removal spell. Might just have to take that. Enchant creature, taps it when it enters the battlefield. And the creature doesn't untap. Yeah, let's just take that. I don't think Graceful Adept is a high pick. Ooh. Alright, now we get some interesting options. Consuming Vortex, 2 mana bounce spell, returns a creature to its hand, but it is Arcane, so we can bounce and splice. And it can also be spliced if we have enough mana, so we can repeatedly bounce something. And there's another Petals of Insight, which is just good card draw. I think maybe we take the Petals and trust that the other one tables. Ooh. Interesting. We're not really getting any good red cards. But here's a Ghostly Prison, which seems pretty sweet. And this also seems interesting. Candle's Glow. Prevent the next 3 damage that would be dealt to creature or player this turn. You gain life equal to the damage prevented this way. You can splice it onto an Arcane. That seems good in our Arcane deck. I think... How good is Ghostly Prison? Is it good? Seems like it can be good in some situations. Makes our opponent pay a lot if they would like to attack. Or is Candle's Glow just better? Let's take Candle's Glow. That seems good if we end up blue. Here we have Soratami Seer. Flying, pay 4, return 2 lands you control to their owner's hand. Discard all the cards in your hand, draw that many cards. Usually I don't think you want to be discarding your hand with the Arcane deck. Callous Deceiver, I guess, is a creature. Reno Lantern. This would be kind of annoying against us, since it stops our milling plan indefinitely. But I don't think we need to just hate it. Let's take Callous Deceiver. There's another Reach Through the Mist. Konda's Banner. This card's kind of expensive in paper. Can only be attached to a legendary creature. Creatures that share a color with a equipped creature get +1/+1. Creatures that share a type with equipped creature get +1/+1. So if you have like a samurai deck with a bunch of white creatures, you give all your creatures +2/+2, but you gotta equip it to a legendary creature. This card is better than it looks too, but I think we just want Reach Through the Mist. We want as many ways to keep cycling through our deck as possible. Peer Through the Depths. I would probably play Floating Beam Zubira. This is interesting. Psychic Puppetry. Tap or untap a permanent, but we can splice it onto an Arcane, so we can tap down a creature. But I think we just want Peer Through the Depths. And here, I don't think we care about giving creatures flying. I don't think that is good. Probably just want more card draw. We have all the card draw. Man, that card, it seems so overpriced. Whenever you cast a Spirit or Arcane spell, regenerate target creature, which is fine, but it's a 2/1 for 5 mana. I think I said that last draft too. I guess we just take Frost Wielder. There's Graceful Adept, Vigilance, and Foil Vigilance. Oh, these cards crack me up when the name of the card is exactly their mechanic. Graceful Adept. I still don't think we want to give things flying. Another card draw spell. Well, this is going to be interesting. Might play Ethereal Haze. Ethereal Haze is essentially a fog. Prevents all damage that would be dealt by creatures this turn, but it is Arcane. So I think every spell in our deck is Arcane. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We didn't get the bounce spell back, did we? That's too bad. Get a couple of defensive creatures. We're pretty close to mono blue, or blue red, or blue white. I think we'll take this healer. If we are blue white, it prevents the damage, so we do need to stay alive while we're trying to draw all these cards. We will definitely take Rito Lantern. Well, I guess this could host the spirit deck. Return all spirits to their owner's hand unless they pay 3 for each of them, I think. For each spirit, return to his owner's hand unless they pay 3. Alright, so what do we get here? Well, I know this is one of the payoff cards. We need a lot of mountains. I don't think that which was taken is actually worth anything online, unfortunately. It is worth 2 cents. Genji of the Spires is pretty aggressive. Defender, when it blocks, return that creature to its owner's hand at the end of combat. 2/3 Flyer. This actually seems like a decent card as well. So this is an Arcane. 4 damage to a creature. And then you can splice it by sacking 2 mountains. If we do end up going red, we definitely want this. No money in this pack. I think we're taking Torrent of Stone. We might even just splash it. So I don't know. If you've ever drafted the Arcane deck, you'll have to let me know. Is this close to what the goal is? Oh, what do we got? Target creature gains Shroud. The Splice onto Arcane ability is neat on this. You can return a blue card to your hand, which can be a benefit. 4 damage burn spell and Flames of the Blood Hand. Defender, Bushido 1. Next time a source of your choice would deal damage this turn, damage is dealt to. Well, that card actually seems good if we're blue-white. Another defensive card. 1/4 for 3. Legendary Fox Samurai. Bushido 1, so it's a 2/5 when it's blocking. Defender. Tap it. Next time a source of your choice would deal damage this turn, that damage is dealt to Opal Eye Kanda's Yojimbo. Opal Eye instead. And then I can pay 1 and a white to prevent the next 1 damage that will be dealt to it. What do we get now? Patron of the Kitsune. Fox Offering. You may cast this card anytime you cast an instant by sacking a fox whenever a creature attacks. Oh, that seems good. That is huge, and it gains us life. Alright, let's take that. So I guess we are When it's put in the graveyard from play, put a 1/1 colorless spirit token. Quashed counters an instant or sorcery. Tap or untap a permanent, then you may tap and untap another permanent. Sack a Teardrop Kami to tap a permanent. We might want this. Sacrifice Kami of False Hope, prevent all combat damage that will be dealt this turn. Or it's this big fox, or not the 1/1 for 4. I think we'll avoid that. Let's take Kami of False Hope. We might not play Torrent of Stone after all. Life Gift is interesting as a way to gain us life. Enchant Island becomes a 2/3 spirit with flying until end of turn. When the island is put in the graveyard, get it back to your hand. Genju of the Falls. Shimmering Glass Kite is probably fine. And Pump Spell that we're not really interested in. Sack a creature, give a creature -X, -X where it's its power. Shimmering Glass Kite. I guess we can take Genju of the Falls? I like the idea of Life Gift, but I don't think we can actually play it. Heed the Miss. Put the top card of your library into your graveyard, then draw cards equal to its converted mana cost. That seems risky. I guess if you have, like, Sensei's Divining Top, it's sweet, but if you just hit a land, which is half of your deck almost, you draw nothing for 5 mana. So even though that's an Arcane, I don't think we want it. Uncheck Growth, a Pump Spell. Prevent all damage that would be dealt to and dealt by enchanted creature. That seems fine. Since we're not planning on winning with combat damage, that's probably reasonable. Ooh, Pus Kami, 3/3 for 7. Pay 1, sack it, destroy a non-black creature, Soul Shift 6. Seems good. Yeah, none of this stuff seems great. This seems... That is a way that can wreck our splicing plan. Another damage preventer. I guess we gotta hate this out, because that really ruins us. Ooh, whenever you cast a Spirit Cane spell, you may put a key counter on Quillmane Baku. Remove X key counters. Pay 1, tap it. Return target creature with converted mana cost X or less. I think we just got to take another Heart to Light, though. I think that's, in our deck, that's basically just a straight up pacifism. And another Kami of False Hope. Draw a card for each spirit we control. I don't think we have enough spirits for that. Whenever you cast a Spirit Arcane, gains flying till end of turn, 2/5. Alright, we'll take that. Target player shuffles up to 4 cards. Well, I think we need this, actually. Because that's a way we can get back. We only have 1 Dampen Thought. So that's a way we can get it back in our library if things go wrong. I guess we take this Quash. Take... Enchant creature. If creature dealt damage by enchanted creature would die, exile instead. Jeez, that seems horrible. Alright, well, that's what we're working with. I don't think we're splashing the Torrent. So we're basically white, blue Dampen Thought? I don't know if that's a real thing, or if I just made this up. We're going to have to make some cuts. 5 cuts. We have a lot of card draw. Got some removal. Got some good defensive creatures. Maybe this deck will work. So what are we cutting? Maybe this thing. Preventing 2 damage doesn't seem that great. We want to keep as many of our Spirit and Arcane spells as possible. Graceful Adept probably isn't that great either, unless we just need it as a creature. Heart of Light, these cards normally aren't great because it doesn't really remove the creature from combat all the way. They can still block with it, so it's not as good as Pacifism. But in our deck, we are not planning on winning by attacking. We're just kind of trying to stall out. So in our deck, this is actually really good. It prevents all damage that would be dealt to and dealt by the enchanted creature. So I think it works really well in our specific deck. Preventing 1 damage probably isn't worth it. Mystic Restraint, Double Petals. It might get one of these Councils of the Soratami. And maybe this is too many fog effects. Like, they seem good in the late game. We can just let them sit out there while we're doing our splicing plan and keep us alive. Our creatures seem pretty good in the deck. I guess we just get rid of Callous Deceiver. A 1/3 for 3 isn't that exciting. Because this thing gains us life. This actually seems really good in our deck. Just a 5/6 for 6, which is already reasonable. And whenever our creature attacks, we gain 1 life. So that's a good way to stall out. Because it doesn't say creature you control, so when our opponent attacks us, we gain a life. Opal also seems pretty sweet and defensive, a way to keep us alive. Big Butt on River, oh my lord, Kaijin. Eerie Possession finds our Dampened Thought, Stream of Consciousness. It gets our Dampened Thought back in our library so we can peer through depths for it again. I think we're going to try it like this. I have no clue if this can be successful, but we get to draw a lot of cards and maybe win in an interesting way. So yeah, I'm going to submit it like that. We'll be back with round 1 of our Dampened Thought rough drafts here in Champions, Betrayers.